Hello. My name is Elizabeth, or Haneul, and I'm a 16-year-old junior at Colleyville High School. You guys probably know me as the pastor's first kid. I've been going to this church since the first grade, and churches in general since I was born. This is my fourth time going on this mission trip, and I didn't want to share my testimony at first, or like 10 minutes ago. Even I asked my dad if I didn't have to, but I have learned something new every time that I've gone, and I want to record those experiences down, at least a little, so I can look back and reflect on what I have felt and learned. Firstly, I want to say that the things I talk about here cannot be understood by merely my testimony. The honest truth is that if you want to feel or understand what all of us are talking about, you have to be there. That's the reason I went this year. Despite my anxiety and fear and apathy, I went because I knew that when I would be listening to these testimonies, the only thing that would have been going through my mind would have been the wish to be there. Because I believe mission is powerful, and that was why I was afraid of going. Because the things that happen there are not explainable by just words, and because every single moment holds weight in my heart. Okay. This year was really hard for me. I'm trying, okay. Yeah, this year was really hard for me. I'm not gonna say everything because I don't wanna, my parents are here and they're me sad. So I'll just say that I felt a lot of guilt for the immoral things that I had done, and I felt guilt for not being able to stop doing those things, and I felt guilty every time I felt fake or empty, and this guilt turned into kind of like a self-hatred, and then my extreme self-awareness heightened this feeling even more to the point where I couldn't ignore it, and it kept manifesting and growing inside of me. I lacked motivation in my life, and just to be completely frank, I didn't give a care anymore about really anything. And I tried to suppress this feeling. I thought it would go away because it, for me at least, has come and gone in waves, but it kept getting stronger, and the fact that I felt this way made me feel inconceivably weak and despicable. I kept thinking that I was like a waste. I felt like I was wasting every good thing I had, and because of that, I felt really lost. God is so good. That is what we sang at the end of our mission in Santa Barbara. God is so good. When I went on this mission trip, that's what I felt. Through the eyes of the children, the hands of the people from Guadalajara church, the hugs from the elderly in the village, my God knows who I am and he loves me. He doesn't love me because of the things that I do, or even the personality traits I have. He just loves me for me. And he knows my hard times and my thoughts. And even when I am this spiritually stunted, God broke down a barrier for me in this mission trip. I went there and I asked him to use me, but I felt like I had no power. We were praying for the sick woman, Amelia, and she was lying on a bed, groaning in pain as I held her grandchild in my arms. And the only thing we could do in that moment was pray, but I felt like my prayer was completely powerless. I wanted to create change and create healing for Amelia, but with what right, with what strength could I do that? But when I lacked power, God gave me power, and when I felt useless, he still used me. I really believe that. When I saw those children pray, with their hands tight together and their eyes pressed closed, when they would come up to me and sing praises to me in Spanish, when they would wipe my tears away, or when extremely shy kids last year were now laughing with me and talking with me, when they remembered my name and when they cried when we left, I was afraid that I would waste my time there. I didn't see any change in my life, so I was asking, what was I doing in Mexico for a week? What was the point? My thoughts were so self-centered. I feel ashamed to have thought that this was about me. I thought change wouldn't happen because I didn't have power, but God had power the whole time. And in the little moments when I was still, I could see him inflicting change in these people's lives. The change wasn't just for me, it was with the people I was meeting too. And God, he knew me, he knew what I needed. And while he was working through me, he was showing me all of these things that he was doing. Why did I doubt my self-worth when my God loves me? These changes that were happening in these people's lives, they weren't just one-sided too. I wasn't just causing them, God was bigger than that. He used those changes and he comforted me with them. These people gave me so much more than I ever gave them. Their welcome and their honest love showed me a glimpse of God's love, one that I didn't deserve. So my life changed when I came back? Sadly, not a lot. I'm still the same person I was when I left. But it was a time to remember the thing I was forgetting. When I went to the house church on Friday, I shared to Jose and to the one member who showed up and to everyone else that I feel powerless. And even when I'm doing God's work, I feel alone and useless and without motivation. Do you know what they said to me? The member said, even when my husband left me, when I was going through all of these struggles, I didn't lose faith because God gives every life a purpose. And even when I was going through those hardships, even in the midst of all of that, God was still using me. He was still giving me reason. And the shepherd told me that he remembered last year I said that my faith always grows in Mexico but shrinks the second I return to Texas, that I place God far away from me in my life. And he responded and told me to wait, that God was working. And you are so, so good to me. Those are the lyrics that we sang the Sunday we came back. I waited and God worked again. My life hasn't changed much. I can testify that because I'm back and, the feeling still comes and goes and sometimes I forget. But I can't even begin to explain the sheer unbelievable joy that comes with knowing that you have a God who knows you. That was also David's sermon on Wednesday at San Isidro. He planted this mission trip, every moment, every person, and used them to show me that he was there and that he loved me and that it didn't matter what I thought because even in the hardships, he was working through me. It was like a small, brief breath of fresh air. This mission trip is ongoing for me because change is so hard. But I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to go to Guadalajara every year, and I'm going to pray until I can boldly be a vessel for God. I'm going to pray for the children and adults in both San Isidro and Santa Barbara and Guadalajara. I'm going to pray that change is lasting in their life, that the powerful presence of God is there. But I'm also going to pray that he's here too, in this room. Even the fact that I'm standing here and telling you this, that is proof that God knows and loves me and that his love is changing me a little bit at a time. Mission is powerful because our God and his love is powerful. And I hope that one day you can experience this indescribable power too. Thank you.